Perfect. Just turned 3 o'clock.
And where is Gail?
Who?
Where is Gail Surratt?
She's right there.
I made sure I didn't want to get into his name.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be on Zoom, right? That's right. I figured it out. I was saying myself, okay, I know what I'm doing.
All right, I'd like to call the January 12, 2023 Commission on Disabilities meeting to order. So please allow me to review certain aspects, I guess, things that we need to read about open meeting law. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, and the January 16th and the June 16th, 2021 act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency as extended by state legislation dated July 16, 2022. This open meeting of the Yarmouth Commission on Disabilities will be conducted both in person and via remote participation. This open meeting of the Commission on Disabilities is being conducted remotely via the Zoom application as well as in person at Yarmouth Town Hall. So now before I turn to the first item on our agenda, let me review a few ground rules if I can. Please, first as chair, I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. If you're participating remotely, please remember to unmute your microphone and face the microphone on your computer when you are recognized to speak so you can be heard clearly. Please remember to mute the mic on the Zoom app or mobile phone when you are not speaking. When a participant wishes to interject a question or comment, please wave your hand physically or remotely and ask to be recognized. And with that, we'll proceed with our meeting and we'll start by doing a roll call. If you would, as I call your name, announce your presence. So first of all, Dave Botting, chair here, Drew Kraus, clerk here, Evelyn Beal,
President.
Gail Charette,
Here.
Jean Boyle,
Here.
Jessica Simmons,
Here.
Mary Vildon.
Here.
And for the staff from the town, we have Sarah O'Reilly, Director of Human Resources.
Here.
And as our special guest today, Amy Howell from the Recreation Department. Thank you very much. Very good. So before we start, just a reminder, today we've got a hard stop right at 4 o'clock. Got a lot to cover. And we want to start with Amy and give her a chance to engage with us on some questions that we may have and get some information. And then completing that, you are free to leave or you can stay for the balance of the meeting. I know it's a hard decision. But look at this group. I want a friendly bunch, right?
Please stay.
All right, so let's get right into it then. And Amy is here at the invitation of Gail, right?
Yes.
Because some of one of the inquiries we received was questions about the beach chairs and the availability of the mobile chairs. And we thought it best to be here directly from you on kind of the status of that. So do you have some specific questions? How do you want to proceed, Gail? Do you?
Well, Amy, I had sent Anthony all the information and he sent everything back to me.
Yeah.
I believe you have a copy of it.
Yep.
So did I send you another, did I send you any more questions? I can't remember.
Yes, right here. Do you remember them or do you just want me to read off?
Go read them off, will you?
The new questions.
Yeah.
So did everyone get the update on your questions that you had originally asked? I mean, does everyone know?
We may have, but you know, Amy, maybe if you could kind of, let's step back and do kind of like just a summary. I think that the gist of, or the purpose here is to understand what is our current status? What do we have? What are the things we should be thinking about, maybe from your seat, you know?
For sure. So for anyone that doesn't know what a mobile chair looks like, I did print out some pictures, and this is what
Great.
we have at our beaches. So currently, so they're in rough shape. The last time they were purchased was about 12 years ago when we looked it up after Gail inquired about it. So we have 4 working ones right now that are at 2 of our beaches, our main beaches, Bass River, and Seagull Beach. I know in one of the follow-up questions, Gail had asked how often, they get, used, which we don't keep a hard number or a track on that, but I can tell you, the way it does work is someone pulls up to the beaches, that at the booth attendants, they ask the booth attendant for a beach wheelchair, who then contacts through our radios, for our lifeguards, and our lifeguards bring, we'll go grab a chair that's in our lockups and bring it out. I would say, only because I have the radio on, 7 days a week, listening to like what's happening at the beaches and stuff, I would say on the weekends, obviously, I would say probably every weekend, you can confidently say that they're used.
Well,
We have 2 at each. Once they're gone, It's on a first come, first served base. We do get requests that come in to reserve it, which we don't do because there's just no way that we can reserve a chair. Yeah,
How many beaches are they at?
they're at 2 beaches, Bass River and Seagull.
Did you say there is one at each beach?
There's 2 at each of those
Two.
beaches.
Do they both go in the water?
Yes, they both, so these will go in the water and basically float. Majority of people don't really use them to even go in the water. It's more just to get onto the beach, easier for them. The problem we would have putting them at other beaches is storage. So, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the facilities at the other beaches, but there's the storage that we have is very minimal or none at all. So there would
Just
just,
to lock them up on the cover.
you definitely need to lock them up, unfortunately. And so really the only 2 beaches that can, would be able to accommodate is Bass River and Seagull. Beach, possibly, Grace, but we've never had one there. So that would be the main reason why you don't see them at all the other beaches. I can tell you in the 4 summers that I've been here, I could probably count on both hands the number of times where we have run out. So it is not, it's very rare that like both are in use and then a third person comes and asks for it. It's rare. So that's a good thing. But I would say, so don't have a hard number on how much it's used, but they are used a decent amount. So much so that I would never consider, I mean, we wouldn't want to do anyways for disability, but I would never say that they're not worth having. So they certainly are. So ideal situation for getting new ones. I have put out to 3 different places quotes for them. From what I've seen online, they're around $3,000 to $5,000, kind of depending on the company. So it's not a crazy amount, but as everyone knows with municipalities, we're not flush with cash, and these would be a very hard sell to go to our capital committee with because of the length that they last. So when you go to our capital committee, they want to see, that these aren't, gonna whatever we put forward with the request, they want those type of requests to last a long
So
time.
these chairs are still in good shape
No,
as themselves, not in.
they are not in good
So
shape.
the 12 years is too much.
Too much, yeah,
Okay,
too much, yeah.
so why would they be a hard sell under those?
So because they don't last 12 years. So for capital, when you're putting in capital requests, like you don't, they're not gonna accept something that like after 4 or 5 years, you have to
Oh,
get some new stuff, you know what I mean? So
I'm a little bit confused. by it.
Have you heard of Smile?
they're,
Are they still active and doing?
they're active. You know what happened is during COVID, they couldn't go out and, so I have an email out to Smile too about how to get some. But during COVID, the last 3 years, they pretty much couldn't send anyone out. And so the chairs didn't get worked on for like 3 years. And as you know, obviously it's salt and everything like that. And so really in the last 3 years, or 4 years, the chairs just went so downhill because we didn't have anyone to work on them. And now they're like starting to get back, up and going, but I mean.
But they usually give you new chairs. don't
Right,
they?
so that's why I've reached out to them to
Yeah.
see that. So we're trying, so after Gail reach out, we've reached out to them to see what that process is, and then also just quotes on around, so if that's not possible for them, because I don't know where they are as an organization with COVID, what they have for funds. If it's even possible, we've started to kind of. Look on our own and see, you know, if it's something that we can just do one a year, right, over the next 4 years and rotate a new one in as they go out, so.
Do you know how your department's funded on the past? I know you weren't here then, but.
I don't, it was through Smile, so, but I don't know how, because it was 12 years ago, so, and I can't really find anything on the transactions, so.
Tell us about the mats.
So
Do
the,
they put them out every morning and roll them up at night?
so the Moby Mats, is actually through the Parks Department, but what I can tell you is that they have put requests in for new ones, but only where they're currently located, so.
And so in location.
Residence Beach, right,
South
South Middle, sorry.
Yeah. They're on Seagull too, right?
No, Seagull Beach just
Oh,
has a wooden boardwalk all the way out,
Oh,
so,
Place that. movie.
they're replacing. I talked with Kevin Parks, there's a movie about somewhere else. Now I can't remember, but it's not Graves Beach. Nope. It's not. Are you sure? Yeah.
are they being replaced because they need replacement?
Yeah.
It's not like we can take an old one and put it at another beach.
No, that's the, problem with all of this stuff is like, it's at a beach, and
Yeah.
so they get worn
up.
and beat up, and. I mean, even with the Moby Mats, I know one of the questions Gail had asked was, why doesn't it go down to the water? Well, you don't want to put it past the high tide mark because, it's just gonna destroy it, even faster if it even will survive.
Could you tell me what the mats are called again? What?
Moby Mats?
Moby, like MOBI?
Yes, yeah,
From
Oh.
whatever.
yeah,
Moby Dick.
it's the company, so,
Okay.
There's
yeah,
only,
Gotcha.
there's only one. That's.
is that what he said to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so they ordered a couple, I know that, but.
I think because they're adding to the other,
So what he had said, so typically they're expensive. And you can order the Moby Mats in specific yardage.
Right.
And so they ordered a couple so that it'll equal kind of what's there now, but that way, instead of having to replace one whole, like. Just gonna throw out a number, 500-yard one, now if you just have a bad portion, right, they have like 4 or 5 100-yard ones that they can
Got it.
kind of replace, and they want to see if that will be more like fiscally, efficient for them with the Moby Mats, so.
Okay. You know, I'm sorry, I keep asking.
No, it's good,
I know there's a Moby mat at South Middle Beach,
yes,
but I'm not clear if there's Moby mats on any other.
No.
beaches.
No.
Okay.
no,
Not-
there isn't.
Amy, do these chairs require the mats to work,
No.
or do these chairs designed to work in the
They're
sand?
designed to work in the sand, yes,
And they do work.
they do, yeah.
And you say they're in bad shape and that manifests as like they're rickety or,
Yeah, I mean, they're not usable, right? So would we ideally like new ones? Yes, they're still usable. They've just,
safe.
yes, they're safe. We have 2 or 3 offline, so they're, inspected and we've worked on them, trying to do it like ourselves, so. They're not in bad shape or they're not safe. So, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be able to use them. We would be taking them offline, so they're just. Ideally, it's the time to start to look to replace them.
I have a question. Can you have someone get parts or make parts and then have the school, the recreation school, get the tech, yeah. And if they could maybe work with.
So we'd have to look into what the liability would be, right? So like if
Okay.
we're having someone that's not
Yeah, I get it.
certified to, I mean, it would have to something go to town council to be like, if we do this, like, or the insurance company and say,
I
well,
think you just,
Exactly.
I think you just made my.
yeah,
We don't have any liability.
Right.
We would want new ones. Now, do they,
yeah,
so you don't,
or Smile to come work on that, but like, I'm fairly confident it would be like. Let's go to new ones. So,
Do you know how other towns fund things like this? Is it built into their regular budget there?
I don't know. Yeah,
Barnstable makes money from parking fees, so they can buy their own.
Yeah, which does,
They make a
that's not
lot.
your department.
no, I would assume, yeah, it's coming out of the beach fees or it's in their budget, stuff like that.
And
So, but I
logistically,
don't know what other departments do.
yeah, logistically, try to move these, you can't, you have to use like a big flatbed or something.
We can put them in our truck. They're not very heavy, because they're meant to go into the water and stuff like that. So,
Okay,
so we move, we can fit 1 or 2 into the back of our truck. So, but they're not, we only do that if we're like taking it back to, our office to work on. So other than that, they're in our 2 lockups, at those beaches. So they're not moved often.
Do you leave them at the beach and then store them at night?
Yes, they
Are
get
they
locked.
at the beach during the day?
Yep, so they're in our lockups, during the day and at night. And if
And their
they're,
lockups are where? On the
so,
beaches?
so are you familiar with Bass River and Seagull?
Not that long.
So each of them have kind of like a concession bathroom facility.
Oh,
And
yeah.
in those buildings, we have a lockup.
Oh, good.
And so it's stored in those lockups.
Other questions?
Well, there was I don't know if this is, how relevant this is, but one of the people had a complaint that they didn't like the design of the chair itself. Does that make any, do you recall that at all? Does
apparently,
that have any?
That one I cannot change. These
not
are,
gonna be really-
yeah, these are design. I mean, did they give you like
I don't
a
know.
what they didn't like about it
well,
or?
I think basically this, her daughter couldn't go to the water's edge. She couldn't actually get into the pool. These are basically to float, right?
They're meant to go in the sand and stuff like that, but I mean, like, too, is you're pushing
Right, and.
someone in the sand and
It's too hard.
And
it's not, yeah, it's not easy. I mean, it's, I'd be great if they were like motorized, you can get them there, but it's so, I mean, I don't know what that
I mean, it's not
circumstance
that easy to
was.
push it,
So,
I mean, it's not, yeah.
right, they're meant to, I mean, if you put like a regular wheelchair in sand, it's just going to sink and it's not gonna go anywhere.
Right.
And so these are inflatable, as you can see the wheels, and they're not super hard. Almost like if you're going off-roading where you have to deflate your tires,
So-
so
Even if you got new ones, they'd be pretty much the same.
they're gonna be the exact same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
That's because that's what they are.
Right,
They're-
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And this is what those type ones you'll see all over the
Well, they do
beaches that
have other
have them.
types too.
They do have
like
other
a wheel-
types.
Like a wheelchair,
They have like a wheelchair ones. Those ones are not meant to go in the water.
right,
So
so you
these-
have those though?
We do not. Nope.
Do you think people would use those just to get, down towards the?
It'd be
the beach?
interesting
Because-
to see if that's what people would prefer.
Because those are
Um,
hard,
idea.
those are
Think
hard
about it, yeah.
wheels, those are not soft wheels, I believe.
They have soft
have-
wheels. They're soft
Yeah, we
wheels.
use that, the one with the big wheel.
Yeah, they're all soft.
Just to walk along the water, get the
Mhm.
fresh air and stuff.
Yep.
Without going in.
So
Yeah,
maybe we should consider some of those, maybe that would be more popular.
So that's a variation that might be
Yeah, that's. the
Right.
most
something that would
wheelchair.
interest
This is
the
the
disabled
folding chair,
beach goers, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, for,
I think they're less expensive too.
I have not looked at prices
at
for
them.
them.
Amazon has them, they're not, I mean, they're made out of PVC, you're not gonna get many years out of them, but for, I think, under $2,000, you can get a wheelchair, so,
Right,
if we could,
yeah, I
Well,
think.
that's worth us somehow thinking about.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's just deciding, like we said, we don't have this pot of money, so it's really just deciding which one's gonna be more beneficial to the
Yeah.
public, and where we have this style, it would be more beneficial because it can actually go in the water, and so we're not gonna have, yeah, you can do
Yeah.
both, and
Yeah.
so when you
one
have
that's
such
going
limited
in.
funds, I would err on the,
The one that
Right.
doesn't go in the water.
right. But
to get.
since we have such limited funds, it's like,
I
we're
get
gonna
you,
spend the
yeah.
money,
I
you
get
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I just think of things like maybe this is more comfortable to sit in or something.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
I just,
and that
Spit-
comes from, I know, Gail had talked about too, is like maybe, a donation or something like
yeah,
that, so.
right. exactly.
But for my recommendation, if we were actually spending money, it would be towards the multifaceted wheelchair.
Exactly, okay.
So I think it'd be interesting to talk to some other towns to find out what they are using, number one, their experience. And then how do they fund it? I would think this would be a great option for a grant. To seek out some funding that way.
I've already
It's-
looked into that, Dave.
Yep, and what did you find out?
Peter's going to look into that and Smile
Yep.
donates,
They do.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
one
he's-
example.
Right, and he's looking into others as well.
There's
And I think
plenty
Gail
out
has
there.
Too, so.
Who's Peter? Pete Nell.
So I think there's a number of different options for us to pursue. In terms of trying to find some funding besides the town and counting on them. Okay, that was not meant to be a dig, it was just.
The only thing I would like you to bring back to everybody at the park is that if we could have a Moby mats that could go down as far as possible, okay? And
High
we
water,
can't,
that's.
we can't.
It's not as far down as you think it is, to be
That's
honest.
right.
Yeah,
Think high water mark.
yeah,
Okay, but whatever it is, okay?
yeah, yeah.
But the idea is that, there's another reason why they can't go down is because they clean the sand,
I have
right?
heard that.
And so the rate will destroy
Right.
it.
Right.
However, I've seen many on the internet where they have like, snow fence. Okay, and that goes along the
Mhm.
sides of the
Yeah.
moving mat so that they have to go around this. But anyway, that would be nice, because I think more people would enjoy the beach that way.
Absolutely.
Because there's, Harwich has quite a few, they have a couple of beaches, I mean, they're advertised more so than we are,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bass River is prime spot that a Moby mat would be very useful.
Okay, so-
But
Yes.
that is actually not my department, so.
And it's
Um,
comfortable, it would be nice to, I think that might solve some of the problem that you were talking about.
Getting 'em down there.
Getting them down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, because even that would
Because
be
if you
easier.
had
to
the
get there.
combination of both,
Mhm.
That's
it would be easier to use the chair on the mat. It's really,
Yeah,
would be
because what I
ideal.
was told by somebody, I don't remember. That Judy Way, I guess, you have to go up a little hill or something, it's not flat. And so. the
That's
woman-
South Middle.
And she was, right, okay, and she
Yeah.
was saying it's very difficult, so maybe you wanna.
That's where the second mat is.
Maybe, yeah,
Shoot on the way.
oh, there is a mat at.
Yeah,
That's
like I
because she
know-
didn't put that down.
No, not at Bass River. It's like kind of like next to South Middle.
Right.
Is what,
I
it's like a
am
way to
familiar with that
water.
spot.
Yeah, so,
There's a town way to the water.
yeah.
Right next to it is a thing called South Middle
Yeah.
Beach.
Yeah.
And they both have kind of humps
Yeah.
on the way.
Yeah, I mean, South Middle has stairs up there.
Evelyn, do you have any questions for Amy before we spring her?
No, I've used the equipment and I understand what they're talking about.
Okay. Well, this is very helpful. There's more to come, I think, on this again, because of some time constraints. We're gonna move on, but this gives us a good foundation, I think, and get us started and gets us thinking about, how do we learn more and start thinking about how we fund this.
And like, we have emails into Smile and then some quotes and stuff like that, so. We'll keep you guys posted
Yeah.
if we are able to get some more or anything like that too, so.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll make sure whatever we coordinate going forward, we kind of keep you guys in the loop as well. Thanks.
Great.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, have a great day.
Okay, next up, I want to see if I can get a motion to accept the minutes from our last meeting on December 9th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Gail? Go ahead, do it.
Do you want to look at it?
Do we have a? And do I have a second? Jessica, thank you. Any discussion? And I'll give you a second to look.
Question,
Yes,
how do I get that form off the screen? It said the meeting is being recorded by the host as a participant and sitting right there on the screen. Is it on your screens?
no.
Tap screen.
Tap.
Can you tap the screen?
Usually there's a.
Yep, nothing happened.
Turn it off. Are you still with us? Evelyn,
Well, I can hear you.
we've lost your visual.
I think she turned her video off.
Yeah, I know. There's a thing up top that says support Zoom us that's going. Maybe that will help. Should I go out and come back in?
If you feel comfortable doing
Maybe,
that,
or just turn on your video. Can you turn on the video on the bottom left?
Turn on the video. Now that's back to where we were.
There you are.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, okay, thank
You're a
you.
tech wizard. I'm gonna call you the next time I have a problem at home. Hearing no more discussion, we'll take a roll call vote on the minutes. Dave Botting, yes. Drew
Well, I wasn't here, so.
abstains. Okay. Evelyn,
Yes,
yes, okay. Gail,
Yes.
Jean.
Yes.
Jessica
Yes.
and Mary.
Yes.
All right. It's approved. You got that. I've signed it, so we're good to go there. Okay, next up, we're required to submit an annual report to the town. I prepared a draft that was circulated. I don't know if people had time to take a look at it. This was my attempt at putting that report together. Questions, omissions, but yeah, go ahead, Gene.
Just one thing, Ms. Thing. I was appointed in January as well, even though I've been around a while.
Why did I have
Yeah.
you in
Thought it was
December?
December.
Well, I looked at my records and the testing I took on the open meeting was dated January 5th.
I think you were appointed before
Yes,
that.
you were.
I think you were in last year's report.
She was.
Yeah,
I
I think
thought
that's
that
why.
had to come first.
No, no, that was kind of, as long as you did it afterwards, it was good.
Thought they were very well written.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll give you your-
can you read that, Dave?
Evelyn, yes.
Can you read that report that I don't have, that you have?
I can. How about if can I give you a summary? I'm not gonna read verbatim. For example, it lists the 6 charges that are listed in the charge for the Disability Commission, so that's included.
Okay,
I go into some detail about the fact that we met every month during the year, except for the month of April. And that we did this via Zoom or hybrid, in person and Zoom. I will read the next paragraph to you. It says, over the past 12 months, we engaged with various departments within the town, collaborating with the police department and building division regarding accessible signage requirements and parking space usage, connecting with the town planner and town engineer as part of the open space and recreation plan, and with the town clerk on matters around commission appointments, terms, and elections of officers. We also worked alongside other local organizations like the Chamber, Yarmouth Senior Center on ways to educate local businesses and local residents on disability access related matters. At the state level, we have participated in trainings offered by the Massachusetts Commission on Disability and have worked with Mass DOT to address concerns over lack of sidewalks along a section of Route 28. We also spend time on organizational matters, including developing draft bylaws to guide us on best practices for conducting our business. And the intent behind that paragraph was to share the different organizations we've all been involved with in one form or another, and to give the town an idea of how we're collaborating and working with other town agencies as well as other organizations. That was my intent there. I go on and talk about the fact that in 2022, 10 new inquiries came to us through that website. Talking a little bit about the different types of inquiries, but again, to give the town some sense of the activity that we get from that website and the number of inquiries that we're getting. I thought that was important. And then I end by talking about some of the membership changes. Evelyn, I talk about how Sharon Ladley was stepped down in 2022. And the fact that we added 2 new members, both Jessica and Mary, in 2022. And again, to Jean's point earlier, Jean was recognized in last year's annual report as joining us in 2021. And I took a moment to recognize Jody, who we lost in 2022, pointing out that Jody was one of the original gang of 6, whatever it was of us, that when we started way back when, and that he would be missed. And I ended by talking about how we've changed our monthly meetings to Thursdays at 3:00. That's my report.
Thank you.
So again, is there anything missed or I could have stated differently?
To me, it's good.
Okay. And we do a vote on this, right? So that's in the records?
No.
Maybe
Want
just
to
want it,
Yes.
and maybe not. Maybe just add something near the end that we are actively pursuing new additional members. Just because we did do that poster and I know you did
Yeah.
a great job getting it out there and put it up.
That's a good idea.
Just so that they know that they're, again, they're.
How about if we say we welcome new members, we would welcome new members to the,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, just so that when they're, when town people are reading it, they realize that there's openings on this particular, because this is what goes into, what people are reading in town meeting and
Right.
it
When
might
you get the idea that
spur some
that
interest.
we want new members, not
Right.
just.
Right.
welcome.
That's why I was saying
Right.
actively.
I'm not quite sure how to phrase it. but
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to accept.
I want to interrupt. Could we
Yes.
also include in that about the book that was such a success and our part in it?
No,
That was 2022.
Two, yeah.
No, 21.
2021.
It was in last year's report.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so a motion to accept the minutes with that one change or addition is what I'm looking for.
What do you want it specifically to say?
That we are actively, well. You were looking for more than just
Commission is-
welcome.
Yeah, because the commission is seeking at the current time.
Commission is actively
new
seeking
members,
new members.
And we welcome any.
Let's go back to the beginning. And. Yeah, do you include something about how to get in touch? Do we invite people to a future meeting?
No, I
If
don't-
they're interested, do you say reach out to Sarah?
I wouldn't, no.
All right,
I would just keep
short
it
and simple.
Yeah, I mean, if they want
That's
to,
after the staff. report,
Yeah.
They know.
yeah.
All right, good. So
So that's acceptable.
I think that'll work.
So are we voting on the annual report or the minutes and, because that was.
We already
part-
voted.
That's right.
You said minutes.
So then I apologize. So now we're voting on the annual report with the one change. I look for a motion for that.
I make a motion that we.
You can't just nod your head. You have to verbalize something.
I-
Mary.
I-
Gene, I thank you, Gene.
My lips.
Okay,
Start talking?
no.
Okay.
So Gene's made the motion. I need a second.
I second that.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? All right, so let's take a roll call vote. Dave Botting, yes. Drew Kraus,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes,
Gail,
Yes.
Jean.
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
thank you very much. Okay. That's done. All right, next up, we need to have a conversation around appointing a new chair. And hopefully to find someone to step up to take the vice chair role, which is was previously served by Jody. And I believe at our last meeting, a number of people had expressed an interest in this and needed some time to think. So I'm going to, around the table, is to get some feedback. So Jessica, I think this is something you were considering.
It was something I was considering. So recently, very recently, my supervisors have started to pass more responsibility to me. They're pushing me into a management position, which is great. And this is, a career goal of mine. But it includes a lot more responsibility. So that needs to be my focus at the moment. Doesn't mean that that's not something that I would be interested in the future, but now is just not the time for me.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's exciting.
you know, months ago, they gave me the senior position and now all of a sudden it's like, well, guess what? Here's more.
That's what happened.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely starting to get my feet wet in a more management position, so it really needs to be my focus. It is busy, it's very busy. So yeah, maybe once, you know, I'm more settled in this role, if there's still a need, then can revisit that. I'm still staying on the commission, though. I love being here, so good. That's not changing.
So good news for you, maybe not so good news for the commission.
Not right at this
No.
point.
But not the worst news either.
Not the worst thing, because she's staying on.
Not going anywhere.
That's good. Mary, some people have approached you and asked you your level of interest. What do you think?
I truly cannot. I really thought hard about it today and it's just too much for me to take on right now. I have to make my job the priority. If it ends up being a default, I will reconsider that. Right now, I'm hesitant and that worries me. If I'm hesitant, then I'm sure I do a really good job.
I kind of feel like if you have to think about it, then.
We all have to think about
Yes.
that.
Get it.
Well,
Jean, you were put forward at one point.
Well, I would be interested in the vice chair.
Okay. And
Dave.
you're in the clerk's role.
Dave,
I'm in the clerk's role, and so I have a background thing too, which is that I'm on the age-friendly committee, and I'm like
That's right.
temporarily, at least, I'm the vice chairman of that, and at the moment, kind of the de facto chairman, because the chairman is out of commission for a while. So I've got similar concerns and not along those.
Well, it does raise a question, not for this year, but I mean, in the future, does that representative from the age friendly, are they eligible to be the chair of this? They are.
Yeah, they are.
Good to
They're
know.
eligible. However, just keep in mind that the appointment from Age Friendly is a 1-year term.
Okay,
Yeah, so. You'd want to just make sure the timing was such that, you know, that was the understanding, so that if, you know, that's not to say that you wouldn't be reappointed the next year if you wanted to be.
So can I,
Something to consider.
so when is that? term?
Dave,
1 year.
hold 1 second. Mary's saying something. Hold on.
So sorry.
Approximately the end of this year. Yeah.
I think it aligns with like the same, like around January.
Oh, so
I forget the exact date that I was appointed this last time, but it was. I'll have to look it up.
It was like maybe a month ago,
It's
right?
about a month.
Yeah.
So he has a
it-
whole.
Yeah, he's
12
almost
Right.
a year, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Evelyn.
I would like to nominate Gail Surratt as chair and take care of the whole situation.
The last Indian sitting.
Well, yeah, you don't have a choice.
Let me just say.
You
this,
have a
okay?
choice.
Of course you have a choice.
You know, in my head, I have everything, right? Communicating it is difficult because I just have so many things going on, you
Right.
know? But that being said, I don't want to see this dropped. So I will step in and I will do the best job I can. And if I don't know what I'm doing, can I defer to Jean to at least carry on? And I hope that everybody else will like pitch in.
Well, what
Yeah.
did you say
Yeah.
something about vice chairman, Chief?
Yes.
Yeah, so we could
And
have that arrangement.
because we are going to have new members. So that's going to be the focus. We'll
And
do
are
a
we-
membership drive and we will get new members. I already got ideas. So, you know, as long as, you know, I talk to everybody else, but I mean, you know, I just been thinking about this and, you know, it's really important.
And how do we want to align the duration of it, like from
Just
today?
till June.
Oh, just.
This is fiscal year, right?
Yeah,
And then-
the year.
yes,
Because
and then
we,
do it.
we went back to
Right.
going on the town year,
Exactly.
fiscal year.
Yes,
But because my term expired at the end of January, we were forced to do this
okay,
early.
right. And the other thing is that then at that point, whomever else has heaviness on them, you know, their work and everything, it might change. And if it changes, that's great. And as far as Evelyn goes, she's very familiar with how to run an organization. Right now, she doesn't know it well, She could have, been the chair easily, I'm learning the motions. I mean, there's a lot.
Okay.
But-
So we're doing this for the first
We're
half
doing
of the
this
year and
because
then
I'm lazy.
we'll revisit.
Nobody else
it.
is
Yeah.
gonna step up right now, but that's okay. I understand. We do have a business. That's,
So then when we do this again in June, then the next time it'll be for one
Yeah,
June to June.
yes. Coming
And I'm not totally clear on I know I've been officially appointed as the representative, but I'm a bit confused as to the dates that are.
Don't overthink it, it'll be okay.
Okay, that's squared away in my.
You'll, and come back
Yeah.
and let us know.
Right.
So, I've heard a motion from Evelyn to make Gail the chair of the Disability Commission. Can you modify your motion to reflect the time between now and the end of June?
Between now and the end of
So in
June.
other words, a new vote will come up for officers at the end of June for the next fiscal year. So we're only covering right now the next 6 months.
Right, because that's what you should cover. really.
Right, but I want the motion to
I think this
reflect
is a
that.
good way to get it all synced up.
All right, I make a motion that Gail Surratt be appointed chair for the term remaining until the next election.
Very good.
Very good. That's
Well said.
perfect. Yep.
She's smart.
That nomination, though, we have to make sure that Gail is.
Well, I think that I'm hearing that.
Yes, I am accepting.
All right.
Okay.
So then I need a second.
Sense.
Second.
Thank you, Jessica. Any more discussion?
Well, therefore,
Thank you.
All right,
Got a call for a vote?
yep, I just gotta get my list to make sure I get this right. So Dave Botting and I don't know if I should abstain because I'm stepping away.
You're still a
Or-
member
okay.
today.
All right, then I'll say yes. Drew,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
that's
Thanks.
Gail.
Yes.
She sounded more excited than you did with your.
Well,
Jean,
Yeah,
Jessica.
Yeah.
Mary,
Yes.
congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Excellent. Fine. Now, I need a motion for the vice chair. Which I think I heard you say you're willing to accept that role. So can someone make a motion for Jean to become the vice chair again with the dates between now and the end of this year?
I nominate Jean Boyle to be vice chair of this Disability Commission through till the next election in June.
Perfect. Do I have a second?
Excellent.
All right, we'll
Mary
put
second.
Mary as the second. Any further discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call. Dave Botting, yes. Drew,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Jean,
Yeah.
Jessica,
Yes.
and Mary.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
congratulations. We have our
My
new,
role as clerk, I'm not doing perfectly well. I didn't get who seconded the nomination.
Here we go.
Mary did.
Thank you.
All right, next up on the agenda was the tracker update. I did not bring any with me. There was no new ones that came through. And so I think we'll just put that off until the next meeting. I do need to make plans to make sure the updated file gets transferred to you. Maybe I'll send it to both you and Jean so you both have it.
Okay.
And just a recommendation that we need to change,
The contact.
right,
Yep.
so when those requests come in, they go to you. As opposed to me.
Yep.
And you'll take care of that.
Mhm.
All right, is there, this is good. We're gonna get you out of here in time for your next meeting.
Thank
Sarah.
you. We're interviewing fire chiefs and the selection meeting starts at 4:30 in this room. So
Okay.
So we,
thank you.
if we
for-
wrap it up quick, that's a good thing.
Yeah, so thank you. for-
Are we plotting the selectmen meeting every month? With this meeting?
No,
that
it's
stays-
just-
No, this is a fire chief interview process.
Oh,
The
okay.
special meeting today.
Any new business, anything, that we wanna make sure gets on the agenda at the next meeting?
If can I just,
no, I was just gonna say, I'm not sure it's new business, But we did want to discuss the disability awareness week, month, whatever that we're planning for October at the next meeting.
We'll make sure we get that on the agenda.
Mary.
Yes. Hold on, Evelyn, yes?
Yeah, I would like to see us put about the posters on the next meeting.
Sorry.
Posters specific to what, the awareness? What,
We had is it Mary that made that poster? And we're supposed to be following it up.
Remember you wanted to edit it?
Just change it.
And that was to attract people to the committee, was that the right one? Or
Yeah,
is it
that
different?
was the poster. Gail wanted to make an edit to it, and remember, we said that we should bring it to the entire commission for if we were gonna edit it.
We went along with,
Oh, yeah.
right, so that's already in the works, right?
Yeah, but we can edit it and get it, send it back out again.
Want to make a change to it?
Well, no, I'm thinking that we should have more than one poster design.
Oh,
This way, somebody goes into a room, they're not gonna know that there's another one. I just read it again, so, subliminally. That's what I'm thinking. So, I think if we can all design posters or ideas, bring them to the next meeting, then, because we should get a membership drive together, get something going. And we can talk about that at the next meeting if you want to.
Yeah, maybe we should put that on, because I did have some ideas.
That's a biggie.
All right,
We need
so you'll put
members.
that on, thank you. I would like to say something where this is my last meeting. It's been,
You're stealing Mary's thunder, I think, right?
I was gonna thank you.
Oh,
So we'll have Mary make her statement.
Yeah, can you
right, Dave?
please?
yes, you did.
No, I was just gonna say I've only been on the commission a short time, but I think we should all thank David for his commitment to this commission. And from what I can see, you've done an amazing job building the team, and I think you're gonna be proud over the next several years what we can get accomplished, and maybe you'll come back sometime.
You're very kind, thank you,
for bringing.
Yay, yay.
thank you.
Yeah.
It has been a good experience, and for those of you that were with me in the beginning, Evelyn, Gail, Drew. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know all of you. I've learned so much from each one of you. And have really enjoyed the time spent building this committee back up. And you're right, Mary, there is so much more we can accomplish. And I really think the future for this organization or this committee is bright. For the newbies, Jessica, Jean, Mary, having you come in, a fresh insight, helping us see things a little bit differently has been a real plus for this committee. And I hope you can keep contributing as you have and participating and being as engaged as you've been, because it takes all of us to really make this commission work. And finally, to my good friend Sarah over here, who I spent probably most of my time working with, either updating minutes or agendas or how do we do this? How do we do that? It's been an absolute pleasure again, working with you, and the help you've given me to be successful has been tremendous. I credit you for a lot of that. So it's been a good ride, and I do promise.
No, I can't speak because I'm a cry. It's like goodbyes and stuff, so.
You're not quitting the committee.
Yeah.
I am.
You are quitting.
I need to step away.
That's why we're crying.
Oh,
I get it. I understand.
I would like to leave the door open if I would be welcome back.
We'll
As
think about that.
so, thank you. And that's fair. That's
Well,
completely
it's
fair.
procedure. It's nothing
Yeah,
personal.
nothing personal, right, it's only business.
You know, as Jessica referred to later, these other obligations, sometimes you have to weigh and
That's it,
balance.
yeah.
And in the coming years, I do see certain obligations stepping back in a way. And so therefore, maybe that door, if it's open, I'll come back hands together and on my knees begging.
All right, we'll let you.
And we'll see how that goes, but yeah, so
I just have one more thing.
Yes.
After you finish,
I'm done.
okay. Because I knew we're late. All right, I went to that.
We
open-
have 11 minutes.
Okay, I went to that open space meeting, the OSR, the plan meeting. Unfortunately, I lost my paperwork because I lost my bag somewhere in this building, but I do remember what we're doing. We're going to be viewing 2 sites, 2 days of 5 sites each of various places, parks and beaches, and just to get an overview of what they need to do. And I did bring up the Disability Commission, and we did get information in there. And we did get a statement. I didn't bring the statement, too bad, but the statement was going to include the disability and inclusion and things of that nature. It wasn't in the beginning of the purpose. So I thought that was kind of important, right? Yeah. So, but it has not been approved yet. That's what we have to do tomorrow. Tomorrow. So anyways, it's progressing, and then they're going to start this kickoff, I think, January 18th, where they're going to get the survey out. So we're moving right along. We should be finished in April. It should be. done.
Wow,
Yeah.
good.
Very, very, very good. That's a learning experience. It's like, yeah.
Who's overseeing that?
Kathy,
Kathy Williams.
yeah,
She's pretty cool,
she's
My
extremely,
opinion.
yeah,
just my opinion.
yeah, she's very organized. And, yeah, that's an understatement.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's really good.
Motion to adjourn?
Oh,
Drew?
goodness. Okay, I move we adjourn.
I
Second.
it. Yeah.
Thank you, Gail. Roll call, Dave Botting, yes. Drew,
Yes.
Evelyn?
Well, I'd
Adjourn?
like to say no, this is so much fun, but I'll say yeah.
We miss you. We miss you. Get well.
Gail,
Yes,
Gail,
yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
and Mary.
Yes.
We are adjourned.
Okay. Now you're a free man. You're just
Ah.
plain old David.
Hi, Evelyn.
Body.
Bye, Evelyn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice smile.
Will you